There now, that's better. Thank you. Now, this story didn't happen once upon a time or long, long ago, but it's a wonderful story. In a twinkling land called Once in a While, every creature always wore a great big smile. Dogs and cats and pigs and sheep smiled all day and grinned in their sleep. And best of all was the happy king, who smiled and smiled over everything. He smiled over breakfast at 6:45, at 9 o'clock, and 11:30. And that's what made the kingdom famous near and far away. The king smiled 24 hours a day. Curious people traveled mile upon mile for a chance to observe this radiant smile. And what was the villagers' honest reaction? They were ecstatic. Their king was a tourist attraction. So they all opened stores and stands and stalls, where they sold everything from shoes to shawls, smiling t-shirts and pillows and ties, smiling things to eat like cookies and pies, pins and buttons and banners that say things like smile or have a nice day. Smiling things sold, that was the trick. One man was even selling smiles on a stick. Around the kingdom for many a mile, you would see stickers saying, "I've seen the smile." This was the reason the village could sing. Their fortunes rested on the smile of the king. Then one dark and drizzled dawn, the king woke up, and his smile was gone. A king without a smile? What a terrible sight! He was sure he had worn it to bed last night. He looked in his shoe, he searched the floor, and under the bed, and behind the door, beneath his pillow, and on every chair. But no matter where he looked, no smile was there. And how did the village react outside? Several women fainted, and grown men cried. Stalls and stores and shops were shut down. After all, who wanted a shirt with a frown, or an unhappy pillow, or a desolate hat? It would be impossible to sell things like that. It was really true. The king had lost his smile and must live without it, at least for a while. Now, this was all right for a day or two, but after a week, it made him feel blue. And after a month, it made him very sad not to have a smile to put on when he was glad. You see, he liked to smile when he saw fuzzy bunnies or listened to the birds or read the Sunday funnies. Aww. Soon he heard people whisper,
"The king's teeth are bad, and that's why he frowns."
Now his sad turned to mad. If they could lift up my frown and look underneath, they would clearly observe I have beautiful teeth. I'll buy some t-shirts, a hat, and a pin. That's what I'll do. I'll buy a new grin. So he got everything, but the things that he got only proved a real smile cannot be bought. Then he ordered his subjects who gathered around to go out and search till his smile was found. And he said, "A reward and a finder's fee for the one who returns my smile to me." Wow! Off they went and searched high and low, far and wide, up and down the village and the countryside. But all they found were some marbles in a rusty old block, 3 pennies, 2 nickels, and 1 yellow sock. Fear was spreading and panic ran wild in everyone except for one little child, whose eyes still twinkled and mouth still smiled. They were horrified and shocked till their faces turned red. But she kept on smiling, and then she said,
I understand the loss of some keys or a hat, but a smile? You can't lose something like that.
"But the king has lost his smile," someone said. "Now go home, little girl, and go to bed." So she left still smiling, and she left alone. Now, let us return to the king on his throne. All of a sudden, lickety-crack, an idea came to him and struck him on the back. "What a great idea!" bellowed the king. "I'll call the court jester to dance and sing."
Hả? Ồ! Tôi nghe một quả gì phải biết vậy mà biết sao.
The king knew the jester was the very one he could always count on to say something funny. So the jester arrived and went through his paces. He danced. And he sang. And he made funny faces. What a wonderful comic! What a marvelous wit! Did he make the king smile? No, he didn't. Not a bit. "Stop!" roared the king. "You're worse than a beginner. Now go to bed, sir, without any dinner. The funniest person in the world is who I need." So this funny man was sent for and came with great speed. Was he funny? Let me tell you, he could hop like a toad.
Greet him. Greet him. Greet him. Greet him.
And he choked about the chicken who had crossed the road. And he chuckled. And he pulled a rabbit out of his hat. And he tickled the king. And the king hated that. "Don't tickle," barked the king with a well-aimed punch. "And off to bed with you without dinner or lunch. My frown's gotten worse, and it's all because of you." Now, what in the world am I going to do? Down in the village, people gathered around to see if a solution to their problem could be found. "Perhaps the king should quit," shouted one old man. What we really need is someone who can smile day and night. That's the thing. I say it's time to get rid of the king. The crowd grumbled. That's the only way. Then a woman stepped forward with something to say. Wait a minute, she said. That's just not right to expect anyone to smile day and night. To demand a thing like that is simply wrong. Has anyone here ever smiled that long? Someone said, for goodness sake, just smile a few minutes and your cheeks begin to ache. That's right, said another. That's true, another said. And another agreed and shook his head. I'm sure all of us can say the same thing. So let's go home and think how we can help the king. As the people went home from the village square, the only sound was the sighing air. The doors slammed shut, and the lights went out as they tried to think of something for the king to smile about. Far away in the woods that night, one small window still burned bright. It was the tiny cottage of the little child. You remember her, don't you? The one who smiled? There she slept near the fire and was smiling still, when an idea landed on her windowsill. It saw her dainty smile, such an innocent thing. Then like a shooting star, it flew off to the king. Thought it over. The idea seemed wild. You mean I might learn about smiles from a child? I might remember laughter if I called in a kid? He thought a little longer, then guess what he did? You're right. He sent for that tiny little girl with eyes all a sparkle and hair all a curl. Off she went through the woods in the dead of night, finding her way in the blue moonlight. The people who saw her couldn't help but stare.
What was that little girl doing there? She's just a little kid. She doesn't know a thing. Why was she sent for to meet with the king?
When she reached the castle door, someone cried, "Good luck, little girl! We're on your side!" She was led inside a gigantic hall, still feeling happy, but incredibly small. Then there was the king on his kingly throne, looking sad and mad and all alone. She was scared at first, but in the smallest while, the expression on her face looked exactly like a smile. "You're smiling!" cried the king with a painful shout. "You see something in me worth smirking about?"
Beg pardon,
said the girl, trying to keep her place.
but it's that silly old, wonderful look on your face.
"Well, I beg your pardon, too. Could you show me, please, how I look to you?"
I'll try,
sighed the child.
but it's going to be tricky.
Then she closed her eyes and thought about everything icky. She turned her mouth down and crinkled up her nose. She wrinkled her forehead and curled up her toes and stamped her foot and tried to look nasty. Then she said,
You look like this.
and she said it real sassy. "Do I look like that?" he asked the child. The king looked shocked. Then he started to smile.
Exactly like this.
She answered with a wiggle. The king couldn't help it. He started to giggle. Then the girl began to laugh, and he began to laugh, and they laughed until they thought their sides were going to split in half. They kept right on laughing for quite a long while, and when the laughter ended, the king had found his smile.
You have found your smile.
The little girl cried.
But tell me, Your Majesty, where did it hide?
The king blushed a little, then said, "Inside." "Thank you, little girl," he said with a sigh. "Have some breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and some blackbird pie." Then everyone laughed and chased all frowns away. Three cheers for this little girl with a hip hip hooray! Hip 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 hooray! Hip 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 hooray! All the shops reopened with a different style, and the slogans now read, "Help each other to smile." An idea just struck me, and it nearly knocked me down. If you ever lose your smile and get stuck with a frown, the answer to the problem gets clearer and clearer. Go and take a look at yourself in a mirror. You will smile from ear to ear, then break into laughter. And we guarantee you'll smile and live happily ever after.
There's a smile sitting on my pillow. There are smiles sprinkled in the air. There's a smile on the weeping willow because I left one there. There's a smile at the end of the rainbow, shining in the sunlight gold. There's a smile to make the pain go when you have a cold. Help each other to smile. Help each other to smile. Remember all the while to help each other to smile. Now if you and smile should part, my friend, don't search far and wide. Just look inside your heart, my friend, for that's where smiles hide. So scatter smiles on your pillow, scatter smiles in the sun. Laugh with the weeping willow. Excuse me. And smile with everyone. Help each other to smile. Help each other to smile. Remember all the while to help each other to smile.
You can make your own puppets and put on a show. But first, you'll need some supplies. You'll need something to keep your supplies in. It can be plain like this, or you can make it fancy by painting it. Or you could glue on your favorite pictures, or you could do just about anything to it. Now, what supplies will you need to make your puppets? Let's see. There's lots of popsicle sticks, cellophane tape, scissors, maybe newspaper to protect the table in case something gets spilled, and a shoebox in which to keep your finished puppets. You can make your puppets from many different things. I've put all sorts of pictures in this bag. You could use pictures from magazines. They would make good puppets. You can also use your favorite comic strip characters or pictures from a coloring book. Or you can draw your own. You can make some great puppets out of photographs of your friends. First, you lay down some newspaper. This will protect the tabletop from any accidents. Then you cut out the figure. Now lay the picture face down and get the cellophane tape and the popsicle stick. Lay the popsicle stick on the back of the picture and secure it with the cellophane tape, like this. There. How would you like to meet the king? She said yes. Welcome, my child, to the kingdom of once in a while. Now, would you like to make a puppet like me? Well, not exactly like me. You've already seen me. Let's make a monkey milk carton puppet. Of course, we'll need a milk carton that has been washed clean. We'll also need cellophane tape, scissors, some pieces of thin cardboard or heavy paper, a pencil, and some marking pens, crayons, a hole punch if you have one, rubber bands, toothpicks, a paper clip, glue, some yarn or string, and a whole bunch of imagination. Now we'll want to outline the milk carton. This is going to be the front of our puppet. The outline of the cardboard is going to turn into the front of our monkey. Here's one we've already drawn. That kind of looks like a monkey, doesn't it? To make it more exciting, we can color it. Let's look at some other monkey faces that have already been made. Here's one made with crayon. This one was made with marking pens, and this one is made with pieces of colored paper cut out of magazines. That's kind of fun. Let's use the crayon one. First, we need to cut it right along the mouth line. We need to trace this onto the milk carton so we know where to cut. There! Now it's time to do some more cutting. This is kind of hard to do, so you might need some help from a grown-up. After you cut along the mouth line, you need to cut along both sides. Don't cut across the back, or the head will fall off. This is how the mouth opens. But we need a way to make it close. Here is where we use the rubber band, toothpick, paper clip, some yarn or string, and the paper punch. First, we punch 3 holes. One back here, one down here, and one up here. One, 2, 3. Here comes another hard part. You take the paper clip and bend it out into a hook like this. Now put the hook through the top hole so that it can catch the rubber band. Pull it through the hole. Now break the toothpick in half and put it through the loop. Pull the rubber band tight. Now put the hook through the other hole and get the other end of the rubber band. pull it through, and put the other half of the toothpick through the loop. That's what will make the mouth close. Now we use some of the yarn or string. Measure a piece about a foot long or so. Put it through the hole in the back and tie a nice knot. There! See, the yarn pulls the mouth open and the rubber band pulls the mouth shut. Now, let's glue the monkey's face to the milk carton. This is a little messy, but messy is fun if you don't forget to clean up afterwards. While the glue dries, let's make some arms for the monkey. Here we use more of the cardboard. Once we've cut out the arm, we can use it to trace the other arm. That way they'll match each other. There. Now you would cut this arm out, too. Here are two arms that were finished earlier, and they've already been colored. Let's attach them to our monkey. The tape will hold them in place while the glue dries. Here's where you put the arms, right under the cut on both sides. Then place the hands on the front, like this. And there you have your monkey puppet. What other kinds of puppets could you make? You could make a king puppet.
Hello.
Hello. Or, if you had some aluminum foil, you could make a robot puppet.
Hello.
Hello. You could draw some pictures to put behind your puppets to show where they live. Do you know where these puppets come from? They come from a magic nation. And do you know where that is? It's imagination.